Hello. A lot of brewery teams struggle using data today. It's just spread between too many systems and is too hard to work with. A lot of times, brewery teams either don't have the time or maybe the right skill set or access to the right tools to really put this data to good use. And what does that cause? It's going to cause some incorrect decision making. It's going to maybe make you slow to take action on opportunities that present themselves or risks that pop up that you need to mitigate quickly before they become a major problem. And in today's competitive and saturated market, that can really lead to disastrous results. So I'm really excited to show you what the future of brewery business data is going to look like. So in this demo, you're going to look at what a day in the life of these modern analytics solutions using brewery data would look like. What are we going to see? First is going to be data consolidated between multiple systems. You no longer have to access data in like 5 different systems in order to get the complete understanding of your brewery business. Next, we're going to see that all levels and attributes are represented. You can spin the data any way you want to really find these most critical insights. You're going to see that it's really easy to drill down to find root cause. You're no longer going to have to just guess at what might be causing a problem. You're going to be able to see it right there on the screen in front of you. And what's critical is all this data is accurate. It's a single source of truth for your team. You no longer have to sit in a meeting with maybe finance coming with one set of data and the sales team coming with another one. Everybody on your team is going to be using the same data source that's always accurate. And then finally, know that all the underlying data is automatically extracted from your source systems and enhanced with no human involvement. So your team doesn't have to do anything in order to have all of these great insights right at your fingertips. So that almost sounds too good to be true, right? Well, let's get into it and look at what a day in the life of using these modern analytics solutions would look like. First, we're going to start you scrolling your phone in the morning over a coffee. Then we're going to dive into some of the greater capabilities when you're at your computer. And then finally, we'll wrap up with a few words on pricing and then what some next steps might look like if you're ready to dive in. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, imagine with me, you're having your coffee in the morning, scrolling through your phone, getting ready to head into the tap room for the day. Imagine if you had capability like this right at your fingertips. So right now we're looking at what's called today's pulse, and this is really giving you a snapshot of recent trends in your taproom business over a certain period of time. I'm going to quickly scroll through here, and then we'll come back and dive into this a little bit more. First, you can see up at the top, it's giving you a summary of what it thinks is most important for you to look at based on the metrics we told it to watch. As we scroll down, you can see we have all these different categories we're watching, right? So we have taproom sales with a trend. We have beer sales, number of checks with the taproom. We're looking at average order size, dollars per barrel that we sell. Now we're getting into some cost and payroll information. We can see hours worked over time or the sales we earned for every hour we work. So a lot of really cool information there. And then what's good about this is you can get to a level or two deeper here right on your phone, right? With just a few little clicks. So I just dove into taproom sales a little bit more. We'll start to get a little bit more detail on both how we're performing compared to last year and then the prior quarter, because we're doing a quarter over quarter comparison. So we're down from last year, we're up from the prior quarter. If I scroll down now, I can drill into some of these a little bit more. You'll see it has certain questions that you can answer. So let's just say we wanted to see what are we selling the most of. So if I just click there, we can really quickly get to those insights, right? Then probably more importantly, if I scroll down a little bit further, I can see what's declining the most year over year. So in this case, we see it's actually beer sales that are declining. So if you remember back on the main screen, I had a little bit more detail on beer sales, right? So just another click and you dive in there. In this case, I'm going to click the breakdown tab button. And this will give us a few other options that we can do as we start to root cause what's going on. Takes a second to render, but now you can see we can get information on what different beer types. In this case, it's what are we selling the most of? But more importantly for the question we're trying to answer is what's decreasing the most. And in this case, we can see it's our light beer, right? We could dive in a few other areas, like for example, we could see what service is selling the most or decreasing the most. We could see what location, in-house beer or to-go beer. So a lot of really good stuff right at your fingertips. And then if we wanted to dive in more, right, we could see, is it like the number of people coming in your tap room who's buying stuff? Is it the average order size? Are they maybe ordering less when they come in? So just a lot of great insights right here. And really the power of this is, right, you don't need to sit at a computer and like pore over dashboards for an hour to get all these different insights on your business. You have it right here on your phone, and it's really surfacing to you what it thinks is most important as it starts to understand your business and arms you with these more intelligence. So when you get in and you start working with your taproom team, now you can ask really specific pointed questions in order to drive maybe different performance or actions over time. So that's pretty cool, right? I can't imagine there's too many brewery teams today that have those sorts of insights right on their phone first thing in the morning. Okay, so now as we're walking through the rest of our day in the life of these modern analytics, let's see what some of the insights are available to you and some of the capabilities when you're at your computer and actually in the system. As I'm working through this, think about how your team accesses and uses your brewery's information today across multiple systems, right? What we're going to be looking at is a combination of financial information out of QuickBooks, point of sale information out of Arrived, and distributor or wholesale information out of VIP. But really, we could connect to any different system. And what's really cool is all the data movement happens behind the scenes automatically, right? So we're always pulling fresh data out of those systems. So whenever you log in the morning, you're always seeing the most up-to-date information. It's efficient. It doesn't need anybody on your team to do anything and is always available for you. Okay, here we go. So let's say we wanted to see a high-level overview of our business. In this case, we're looking at profit and loss. All we did is a point and a click, and it's going to bring it up. Especially at the most high level, we try to keep things pretty simple. We're just looking at like these KPI little reviews. So we can see a long-term trend. How is that performing over time? How did we compare to the previous month and last year? Let's say we wanted to start to dive into these a little bit more. In this case, let's say we wanted to go directly to wholesale information. Another point and click, and I'm going to now land on our wholesale landing page. So we have 6 different things that we can dive into more. So we're going to start at a summary. Usually we start high level and then drill in, right? And really with a few clicks of the mouse, you'll see how detailed we can get. In this case, we're showing some trend information by state. Let's say I wanted to dive into like hazy IPAs. I just click here and supermarket information. So a couple clicks, we can see what the trend is specific to hazies selling in supermarkets. We can see some states are doing pretty good like Texas, right? But most states are not doing so good like North Carolina. Let's say you wanted to share this with somebody on your team. You can go ahead and click comments over here. And I'm going to, hey, look at this. So now I'm going to get an email that has the same image that we're looking at on the screen and a link for that person to come and look at the exact same thing that you're looking at. So just a good way to organize comments and feedback amongst your group, right? Let's do a few more things while we're on the screen. Let's say you wanted to drop this into either PDF or I'm going to go ahead and go into PowerPoint. So this would be something that would be good if you wanted to show a PowerPoint. You can see that happens real quick. Takes a nice clean snapshot. There's our image right there. So now you could share this in a presentation. Okay, back to our dashboard. Let's keep going through some more things. Let's say I wanted to now we're going to dive in deeper into different parts of our business. So now I'm looking at an individual state and we're going to look at it by county. We didn't filter too much on the last one. Let's go in and we're going to open up our filter thing. Let's say we just wanted to see on-premise sales. So filtered there. I'm going to close that. Okay, so now we're looking at just on-premise sales. We can see we have a decent trend going up, but we're still struggling in some counties, in some large counties in this case. Let's say Riverside County is a big one, and they're not doing so good when it comes to sales per capita. So if I highlight it over them, we can see, well, even though they're not doing so good, they're actually trending up. So they're going in the right direction. They just still have a long way to go, right? So this is good information that's infusing VIP data straight out of that system. And we're infusing, in this case, population by county to get to this sales per capita number, which I think is pretty insightful compared to just a normal sales volume. Let's keep drilling in. We could look at it by individual region. We could compare our the amount of sales we make per case we sell. I'm going to go ahead and click on share. So this is a pretty interesting analysis. This is showing who can buy your beer versus who did buy it, right? So you can pick up your market share in a certain area. And in this one, we're focused on San Diego County. We can see we have 178 new accounts. We have 661 that have existed over time. We've recently lost 174 and 802 have never purchased. So now we can continue to drill in and really get detailed about where we are doing good with market share and where we have some opportunity to go pick up some more. Finally, let's just show like a look at segmentation. So this is if we took all of the customers that bought from us, and again, we're still looking at San Diego County in this case. And let's do a little bit more filtering on this one. Let's say we wanted to look at our high revenue customers that are also our high profit customers, but are declining in sales, right? So we make some money off of them. They're big, but they're not growing. So these would be ones that we would probably want to go see what's going on. I just clicked this button that said show detail. Now we can see specifically who those accounts are. And let's just say we wanted to drop this into Excel for some more information. Just a few clicks here and we hit download and you'll see our Excel listing pops up real quick. So we can get to all that good detail if we wanted to do some additional analysis in Excel. Okay, I'm going to back up a few levels and let's look at a little bit of Taproom data. We'll go through Taproom pretty quick. But just to show you how we can easily go from wholesale to Taproom sales. We're not going to look at all of these. In this case, we're just going to look at some beer information. So this first one is going to be a beer type summary. So this is basically stacking up each of the different beer types we sold. We can get some different demographics across those beer types. We can see sales volume and trends, and we're also infusing some cost information. So now we're able to look at gross margin and gross margin trends too, right? Pretty cool. Let's say we wanted to dive in specifically onto a single beer style. I just click detail in this case. And this one's already filtered to West Coast IPA, which is fine. Let's just stay on them. We can see their total volume for a period of time we're comparing. In this case, it's current year versus last year, but we could really compare any two time periods together, right? We can see that they're actually growing faster than all the rest of our beers. And some more good news is when a customer orders a West Coast IPA, their average order size is almost $30 larger than when they have orders with other beers on them. So pretty profitable beer for our area. And now we could just do some more drilling in, right? So I'm just going to click Friday here so you can see how that goes, and everything renders down accordingly. Okay, so far we've just been looking at sales information. Of course, that's great information, right? But I want to look at a little bit more on the cost side so you can kind of see how this works. I just clicked in that case on, we went down to payroll cost information. And now we're going to combine two different sources of data. One is hours worked, and then the other one is revenue earned per different parts of our company. We're going to break down our tap room into front of house and back of house. And for back of house, for example, what we're doing is we're looking at our total food sales and our total hours worked for back of house. And in this case, we're combining those two numbers together to say for every hour somebody in back of house works, we make $90 of sales, basically, is how to understand this metric, right? And then we can see how different things are trending over time. And down below here, we can get some other good information. We can see by each day of the week, how does this metric trend? And we can see on like Saturdays, for example, we make almost twice as much dollars per hour worked as we do on Mondays. And then we can look at individual days, and actually, let's look at yesterday. We can see that was our highest day we've had so far. We earned $84 in total for every hour worked in our tap room, and you can see some of the different metrics there. Okay, great. And let's just take one more look at some detail. If we wanted to see, like for last week, how many hours were worked, how many dollars was it, and really when were different people working each day? So how did we have different job codes covered as we went through the week, and how many hours did each person work? So, another good example of really starting at a high level and being able to drill down to lower and lower information. So, I'm not going to go any deeper on this demo, but I think that gave you a good overview of with just a few clicks of the mouse, we can get the data from all parts of our business. It's real easy to get data out of the system and communicate it to others. And really, the whole point of this is having this data at your fingertips of your team so you guys can make smarter and quicker and very confident decisions using all of your brewery data backing it up. So I'm really excited to deploy these cutting edge capabilities to the craft brewing industry. I really think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of breweries. You might be thinking, well, that looks great, but it's probably out of my price range, right? Let me give you a little idea of what the pricing will look like in a solution like this. And of course, it depends a little bit on what systems we'd be connecting to and how much data we're moving around. But just kind of think as a starting point about $500 per month for each source system that we're grabbing data out of. So just thinking back to our demo with both the daily pulse and then doing the deep dive when you're at your computer, we were hitting three different systems. We were hitting QuickBooks, we were hitting Arrived for the point of sale data, and we were hitting VIP data. So in that case, $500 a piece, that's about $1,500 total. And that gets you data from those systems automatically being integrated into this system. We have about 20 or so dashboards that'll be hooked up to it. So you're able to get all those insights and access for about 10 of your team members. So that just gives you an idea of kind of what the price range would be. But of course, we can get it more dialed in once I understand more about your environment. So next steps would be, let's get on a call so I can understand how you guys use data today. Maybe I can demo these solutions a little bit more. We can even do a proof of concept project, which is running some of your data through these dashboards so you can really get a good feel for what it would look like. And then if everything looks good, we'll sign some paperwork and we'll get started. And really in only a few weeks' time, your team can have access to all of these great insights. Pretty cool, huh? So here's to running your brewery business with precision and passion, all powered by modern data and analytics solutions. Cheers.